Alright, what is up everybody? We're back in Anime Last Stand. We're going to be checking the new Extreme Boosted units in this update, little Kiowa update. So, we have Time Goddess Angel, Madoki Goddess, Itadoki Shrine, Black Swordsman Berserker, and Wrath Assault. So they're all Glitch Glorious triple S stats. So today we're going to be starting with Itadoki. He has a little buff going on right now. So he is 96 point mil on placement with 3.52 SPA. He has a line AoE, so it looks like he's on average right now. So we have Commander of Sparks slash Black Spark EX. He gets 150% damage, 45% range, minus 35% SPA, plus 75% base crit chance, plus 200% base crit damage, and all critical strikes have a 55% chance to be a Black Spark EX, which as you can see, he does have a little buzz going on right now. I am slightly sick, so I'm very congested right now. But with Black Sparks EX, he deals crit damage times 3.5. This attack will follow up immediately. The follow-up has a 65% chance to be a Black Spark EX. For every additional Black Spark EX hit, increase damage dealt by 15%, max of 8. Once 8 Black Sparks have been hit in succession, increase cap to 25, and all Black Sparks will deal bonus 1% max health damage, cap of 1.5 trillion. Then we have Double Impact. Every attack will linger, dealing times 2 damage to the same enemy after 3 seconds. If the attack was a Black Spark, this instant damage is times 4 instead. Then we have Blood Control, Piercing slash Supernova. It's a very long passive. So Piercing alternates with Blood Control. Supernova every 5 critical strikes. Upon switching to Piercing, instantly applies Mutilate to the struck enemy. Upon critically striking an enemy, deal times 5 damage in thin square AoE, 25 range, and apply Mutilate. Enemies hit permanently take plus 5, 50% more damage from Bleed DOT, cap of plus 1000%. With Supernova, alternates with Blood Control Piercing every 5 critical strikes. Upon switching to Supernova, instantly apply Hemorrhage to the struck enemy. Upon critically striking an enemy, deal times 10 damage in small circle AoE, 25 range, and apply Hemorrhage. Enemies hit are permanently slowed by 2.5%, cap of 45%, stacks with slow, and crippled. Then we have Awakening Shrine. After hitting 8 or more Black Spark EX in succession, this unit enters Awakening for 25 seconds. This passive has a 15-second cooldown. After this unit leaves Awakening, the Awakening effect it gains dismantled. Standard attacks will additionally deal 5% of their current health damage, and cap of 5.5 trillion. And then critical strikes will additionally deal 5% of max health damage, cap of 10 trillion. So let's go ahead and start upgrading him. So he is not too expensive to max out. I think he's like 2 mil. So we have Black Sparks, Heavy Thrust, with big circle AoE. Just make sure my attack effects are on. There we go. So it's just him running up, hitting Black Flashes. He's at 3 mil now. Then we have 200% Black Sparks. Let's just see him attack. And then max, he's doing 20.3 mil every 1.83 seconds, and then he does have Hemorrhage and Mutilate switching in and out. So then we have Hometown Domain. Time stop all enemies in range for 25 seconds. During this time stop, he gains plus 150% damage, set crit chance to 100, set Black Spark and Black Spark EX chance to 100. So then now he goes to 32.5 mil, 1.83, so now he's always basically critting, and he's doing a lot of damage. So if we take a look at his right now, obviously, the health isn't too high, but he's 1.85 to max out, which isn't bad at all. So let's go ahead and move on to next. Let's go ahead and check out Madoki. So Madoki doesn't have the utmost damage. She's kind of just more of a support, if anything. But so she does like a little slash effect, or she just does a little blast. I can't really tell, but let's see here. All right, so she's 9.61 mil on placement every 4.24 seconds. Oh, so to show off this meter, let me grab. So she has a despair bar. She doesn't apply despair herself, so I need Meliodas who applies despair here real quick. So with her, she only has one passive. When Despair is applied to an enemy, they gain a Despair stack. Deal base damage times Despair stack in range every second. When once max Despair is reached, you gain the active ability Succumb. So just leave that there with her so that way you can get the Despair. Fortunately, she doesn't have it herself, so she can't really get it. She is fairly cheap to max out. She does 1.15 bill every 4.24 seconds. And she only costs 300k to max out. It's not bad. So we'll kind of just leave her there with Meliodas until that stacks up for right now. So we have Meliodas here, Rough Assault mode. So he is 67.8 mil on placement every 5.56 seconds. He does have Black Flames and Despair, and he has this Wrath bar here. So we have his ability that he gets on placement. We have Assault Mode Swap. He cannot gain any of his Wrath meter while it's active. It drains 1 Wrath per second. He gains 250% damage, and he gains Negation, which removes their elemental resistance. We have Hellblaze. This unit's Black Flame duration is 50% shorter. While an enemy is affected by this unit's Black Flames, 25% of all damage will penetrate shields. Then we have Commandment of Love. Non-dark element enemies are slowed by 25% while in this unit's range. And then we have Wrath. This unit has a Wrath meter. +1 every 5 seconds, +1 for every kill in range, and +1 for every crit performed by this unit. When this unit is stunned with full counter, all enemies in range are stunned for stun duration ×3, and they take 250% of this unit's current damage. So let's go ahead and max them out, and then we'll use Assault mode. So we have Black Claymore. Let's just go ahead and set her to God for right now, so we can see his effects. So he just has a big slash from the looks of it. He has Circle AoE. Then we have Devil Pressure. It's just a big flame. And then we have Sacred Treasure Clone and Complete Counter. So he is hitting 19.3 bill right now. So he's hitting 93. Jesus. Oh my gosh, the damage is crazy. So Sacred Treasure Clone. Spawn a clone with 50% of this unit's damage for 50 seconds. The enemies hit by this clone receive guaranteed crits from all sources for 10 seconds. Then Complete Counter. Consume all Wrath. Deal Wrath ×2 times strongest allies damage in range to enemies. And this enemy is guaranteed to crit and apply decay. So for the Sacred Treasure Clone, you can just always use... So it spawns it of whatever his current damage is. So if you were to say use Assault mode, puts me up to 67, and then use the Sacred Clone, then his clone spawns with his higher output damage instead. So then we have Complete Counter, which obviously you won't see much because there's nothing else to it. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Time Goddess. I'm still waiting on Madoki's bar to fill up. It's just taking a minute. So we have, let's go ahead and set you to none. So we have Time Goddess, who has line AoE, and she just shoots at them. So let's go ahead. She is 116 mil every 4.86 seconds on placement. She is decently, she's 1.9 mil to max out, so it's not bad. So we have Zafriel. Upon activation, opens a menu that allows you to choose an ability. There's quite a lot of abilities on there. Then we have Borrow Time. Select an target, ally, or enemy. Lose -2% damage every second for 50 seconds. Reverts after 50 seconds or upon reaching cap. Gain 15 time per second during the duration. Enemy remove the enemy from the map for 30 seconds. And during this period, deal 2% of their current HP with a max of 1.5 trillion per second and gain 10 time upon activation. Then we have Time Devouring City. Enemies within 30% of range lose 1% of their current HP every second. Cap of 10 trillion. Gain 1 time stack for every tick dealt by this passive. Enemies killed within this passive range give 10 time. So let's go ahead and use Borrow Time. And let's go ahead and use it on Madoki. So now it's ramping up our time meter. So we have Zafriel. We have quite a lot of abilities in here. So we have Time Snare. For cost 300 time. Choose an area to slow enemies by 20% for 60 seconds, cap of 80% slow, and resets duration if reapplied. Then we have Future Sight. Choose an area to buff allies' crit chance by 20% and crit damage by 40% for 60 seconds. Then we have Chrono Pulse. Choose an area to reduce allies' SPA by -40% for 45 seconds, stacks twice. resets duration if reapplied, and then instantly explode enemy DOTs. And then we have Rewind Field. Choose an area to walk back enemies for 15 seconds, 45-second cooldown per enemy. Moment Trap. Stun strongest enemy on the map for 45 seconds with a 60-second cooldown. Foresight Strike. Deal 30 times damage to the strongest enemy on the map. Apply a Rupture of this multiplier. Execute if less than 30%. If less than 30% HP. Shadow Legion. I can't see. On first use, gain Temporal Clone's ability for every additional use of Shadow Legion. Spawn more additional clones upon activation of this ability. Cap of 11 clones. Then we have Past Echo. Choose an area to buff allies' damage by plus 30% for 120 seconds. Cap of 300%. Resets duration if reapplied. Forward Leap. Choose an area to send enemies 30 seconds forward, and the affected enemies receive plus 300% more damage. Then we have Backwards Leap. Choose an area to send enemies back to spawn, and the enemies affected receive plus 100% more damage and return back to their original position if they're not killed within 60 seconds. Then the last one is Shared Focus, which all allied attacks in this range hit the strongest enemy until it dies, regardless of AoE and targeting. And this enemy receives 250% more damage. So let's go ahead, use it again, do that. So that it's just eating away at the damage, collecting more time. So let's go ahead and upgrade her. So we have Teleport Shot, which is just her shooting at them. And then we have Bullet Storm, full AoE. It's just a big shot. And then at max, we're doing 38.6 bill every 6.26 seconds. So let's go ahead and use these in order. So we'll go ahead with Time Stare. Do that. Slows down. Then let's do Future Sight. Bust allies. Gives them all that. And then we'll just make our way through the ability list. Then we have Chrono Pulse, which reduces their SPA. So now he's at 4, she's at 2. And we also have Succumb. Let me see what this does. Succumb to Despair, Tainted Soul. Oh, Witch of Salvation. So 700. She have new ones? Oh. This unit rejects all external buffs. This unit gains 1% of damage it deals to enemies under despair as a flat damage buff. Let me put this on times for a second. And then each time this unit applies despair, lose a despair stack. Once all stacks are lost, this unit loses the despair effect. And Grimhold's passive grants access to the ability Apocalypse Confrontation. Interesting. I don't know how to get the ability. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's go ahead and just keep this going. But anyway, so all we have left is Guts. Let's go ahead and take a look at Guts. So he is 32.1 mil every 2.3 seconds. So we have Death Defiant for every 15 seconds this unit is stunned. Immediately cleanse the stun. All damage dealt within the next 30 seconds from all units is applied to the strongest enemy in the map after 30 seconds. Cap of 20 trillion. Deal 50 times damage at full AoE. Deal 100 times damage to the strongest enemy in the map. Apply Sunburn off this multiplier. Plus 25% SPA for 50 seconds. Unit cannot be stunned. For 20 seconds, all stuns during this time turn into range debuffs 5% per 1 second of stun. Berserker's Rage. This unit has a rage meter cap of 500 for every enemy hit. Gain 1 rage stack when a boss enemy enters range. Instantly fill rage meter. Plus 2% damage to rage per rage stack. When range meter is full, do not gain rage until rage equals 0, so SPA to 1. All damage dealt to enemies is stored and dealt every 10 seconds in range. Until rage 0, attacks now deal 0.85% of the current HP damage. Reduce 10 rage every attack for every 50 rage. Lost, self-stun for 10 seconds when rage equals 0, stun for 45. Doesn't activate Death Defiant passive. Berserker's Retaliation. Every attack has a rage divided by 50% chance to stun all enemies in range. Stun all allies in range. This unit's range for 3 seconds. Also SPA debuffs apply times 2 damage debuffs. All buffs are 25% less effective. Yikes. And this is for if you have Casca. I don't have her. But if you have her in range, Berserker's Retaliation passive will no longer reduce buffs. Black Swordsman will teleport to the nearest position to Casca. Casca gains command of the Hawk. Passive, if Casca stuns, stun Black Swordsman longer for 1.5 times her. Let's go ahead and max him out. We have Impact Cannon. All his attacks are pretty much normal. So we have Berserker ability plus 500% damage for 100 seconds. Spawn 150 enemy count. Stop being spun. With 2 trillion SP, immediately fill the rage bar and self stun for 4 seconds after every attack for 200 seconds. So now he's chilling at 100 bill. He's obviously doing more with Mutilate plus Dismantled, and that's it for him. He is doing basically 97 bill every second. Let's see. So she has her ability now. Apocalypse Confrontation. Upon activation, deal 100 times damage in range. Obtain the ability Final Wish upon second use. Second use? Brother, what? Oh. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna get that ability. We'll see. We'll read. I'll probably have to redo that with one of the people who can write, the one who can reset infinite cooldowns. So, uh, let's redo that in a second. Let me go into a new infinite and see if we can get that. All right, guys. So we're back in the. So I managed to get the ability reset. Wong Ling. I was gonna use Pochi's, but I tested Wong Ling just in case. It did reset it. So we do have Final Wish, and it just says you shall never despair. Oh, so now we have Goddess of Hope. Jesus, this unit is doing too much. Okay. So we have Mercy. This unit cannot be sold or deleted. Inherits the damage of its previous form, multiplying it by 100. This is the unit's base damage stat. All enemies become dark type. All enemies take times 10 attack damage. Affects all existing and future enemies. Then we have Law Erasure. All buffs and debuffs cease to exist. Unit stuns cease to exist. Effects cease to exist. Applies map wide and ignores all source and conditions. Oh geez. Then we have Hope, which sets this unit's damage that times 2 its current damage. To times 2 current damage, it deals 1,000 damage map wide. Oh. It has 1,000 cooldown. It doesn't say it has a timer, so I'm assuming it just keeps going. But it does 273 bill every 7.7 seconds. I ain't gonna lie. For the conditions to use all this, I feel like would take a minute. Getting the spare stack, you don't need it to be in range. It just has to be applied. So if you leave her outside of range, so her ability doesn't kill things in her range, then it wouldn't take long to realistically get this thing to ramp up this far. It's just you would also need Wong Ling in order to reset the ability or whoever you use. But that's interesting. Or you could try Giorno. I didn't try Giorno's reset. But that's everybody for the new update. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.